Rocky, 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 Rocky.
We regret that we haven't yet turned up information on the earliest years of path-breaking African-American screen actor George H. Reed, 1866 to 1952. Reed was one of the few genuine black actors in Hollywood during the silent days. Whites in blackface was the predominant method of portrayal in those benighted times. Since Reed was around 50 years old at the time of his screen debut, it seems reasonable to surmise that he'd spent years on stage, perhaps in black vaudeville or minstrelsy, but I've not yet uncovered any references. He was originally from Macon, Georgia. Reed may have appeared in the now lost all-black The Realization of a Negro's Ambition, 1916, by Harry A. Gant and the Lincoln Motion Picture Company. All agree that his first confirmed role is that of Jim in the 1920 version of Huckleberry Finn, directed by the ill-fated William Desmond Taylor. It was widely touted as the first movie version of Mark Twain's book to star of actual young people. It may have been in the same spirit of realism that a real African American was cast. Naturally, it wasn't ever going to get better for Reed than a co-starring part in a major Hollywood film. For most of his remaining career he was relegated to bit parts, normally as stereotyped menials and servants of one kind or another. Ben Model wrote this terrific essay about his appearance in Douglas MacLean's One a Minute, which came out in 1921. His nearly 150 credits also include roles in John Ford's cameo Kirby, 1923, featuring Jean Arthur in her first role, William Wellman's The Vagabond Trail, 1925, Willard Mack's The Noose, 1928, They Learned About Women, 1930, with Van and Schenck, Montana Moon, 1930, What Price Hollywood? 1932, 20th Century, 1934, Judge Priest, 1934, with Will Rogers, Belle of the 90s, 1934, with Mae West, Mrs. Wiggs of the Cabbage Patch, 1934, with W.C. Fields, and also its 1942 remake, Diamond Gem, 1935, The Virginia Judge, 1935, with Walter C. Kelly, Showboat, 1936, The Green Pastures, 1936, Anthony Adverse, 1936, Oh Susanna. 1936, Saratoga, 1937, Kentucky, 1938, Swanee River, 1939, Maryland, 1940, Belle Starr, 1941, They Died with Their Boots On, 1941, Cecil B. DeMille's Reap the Wild Wind, 1942, In This Our Life, 1942, Tales of Manhattan, 1942, Dixie, 1943, and the 1945 serial Jungle Queen. He was also in most of the Dr. Kildare films, culminating with Dark Delusion, 1947, his final screen appearance. His performances were uncredited. It is due to the segregation in the industry and the limited opportunities for black actors during that time period. His career and contributions to the film industry may not have been well documented or widely recognized, but he will definitely be remembered as one of the founders who broke barriers for blacks to act in Hollywood in those times and for future generations to come. Reed passed away in November 1952 at the age of 86.